Welcome to Deadly Dames, and this is going to be my video for the Halloween challenge so far. So the challenge is, and I'm sure it's well known to anyone out there who is a fan of horror films and a fan of Halloween, is that you watch 31 horror films or more in the month of October. So I am hopefully going to do more. It is difficult when you're working, but this is the 9 that I've been able to watch so far. So the first one is Texas Chainsaw. Cheated a little bit with this because I did obviously watch all of the Texas Chainsaw Massacres and review them, but this was watched on the 1st of October, so it does count towards the Halloween challenge. So I said everything I needed to say about it in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video that I did, so I'm not going to say anything again. It was okay, but if you want to see the full review of all the Texas Chainsaw Massacres, it is in that other video. Also watched Blair Witch Project. Now, I did go to the cinema to see Blair Witch, but I wanted to watch this one again just to get an idea and a feel as to... It's been a very long time since I've seen it, to get an idea and feel about what this movie was like based on what I could remember. Now, I remember not loving this film, but I think it was mainly because of how hyped it was. And obviously, it's a movie all about something that you can't see, because the characters in the actual movie can see the Blair Witch, but we can't, and we never do, and I always remember having a really big problem with that. But I watched this and I went in with a new frame of mind and thought, right, I'm going to watch it in the dark, not going to judge it, going to forget about the hype and just enjoy the film. And what I really did like about it, watching it like that, was, and obviously watching the making of and things helped as well, was that most of the conversation in this is improv, and a lot of the 3 actors that are in it, a lot of the arguing and the fighting, it's real. You know, they really did put them out there in the woods. Obviously, they weren't abandoned in the woods. And a lot of the arguments that they had, they were real. They were actually pit-potting with each other about being lost in the woods and being hungry and wanting cigarettes. And I liked that side of it because it made it feel realer than knowing you were watching a film. And if you're going to watch found footage, you want it to feel as real as possible so that you actually believe that you're watching a found footage. I actually thought the acting was pretty good, and the scene with Heather, you know, the iconic scene, you know, I thought it was funny in the making of when they spoke that wasn't really meant to happen. The actress didn't realise she had zoomed in as close as she had. I thought that was really good. But overall, watching Blair Witch Project again, I actually really enjoyed it. As I said, I went into it forgetting everything before and just watching it afresh, and it was really good. It was all really enjoyable considering how many bad found footage movies we get now. This one was and is still a gem. But yeah, I really did enjoy watching Blair Witch Project again. Also watched It on Blu-ray, so obviously I've recently shown this in a pickup video. Again, it's been a really long time since I've seen it. I remember being terrified of it when I was a child, because let's face it, Tim Curry's Pennywise, he is terrifying. Even watching it as an adult, he's the best thing about this. What I found watching this again was the first half of the film, where it's all about the kids and Pennywise tormenting them as children. That part's actually really good. The kids are actually really good in this. I think the adults let it down. I found them quite wooden. I didn't really believe any of the adults. I mean, Billy, as a child, he was really, as an adult, he was really boring. And I was like, this guy needs to get some sort of life into him, and they're facing off against someone that could possibly kill them, because let's face it, he's been killing people for a long time. And what I liked about watching it as an adult is you suddenly pick up that, you know, the asthma scene where he squirts them in the face, this is battery acid. A lot of the reason why these things worked against Pennywise was because I think he lives off of the fear of children. So the imagination of children allow them to fight back. So them believing that the inhaler's battery acid is going to work on them, because that's what it believes in. He believes in anything that the children have, so like the children's imagination, so it's a fear that it lives off of. It wants children to be scared. So of course how kids fight back with their imagination is obviously going to work on it, and I didn't get that as a child. I got that as an adult, which was strange watching it. The ending really does... Sorry, I didn't realise there was so much glare. Try that. Yeah, the ending really does let it down, because it suddenly turns into a big spider, and you know, the way it ends, I just thought, you know, they built so much up in this movie, they could have had such a better ending, which makes me a little bit curious as to what the new one's going to do. So I'd actually quite like to see the new one to see if they could maybe fix that ending. But the beginning of it with Pennywise terrifying the children, that was really good. It was worth a watch. It's still worth watching it for Tim Curry, in all honesty, because he's just phenomenal in this, and he is still scary. If you were to cut out all the boring parts and just show Tim Curry, it'd be amazing. I then watched Road Games. Now this is the one with Stacy Keach and Jamie Lee Curtis. You could probably argue it's not really a horror, it's more of a thriller, but people do die in it. But this movie was amazing. Now, I actually thought I'd seen this before, but I'm actually thinking of another movie called Murder on the Highway, which I thought this one was, and it turns out it's not. I loved a lot of the imagery in this, and I loved a lot of how it was built up on suspicion and suspense. I really loved the bit in it where Stacy Keach's character's driving, and he's on a mission. He wants to catch this guy, but he's tired and he's starting to doubt himself, and the lines on the road merge with his eyes, and that part was just amazing. I loved that bit, and I really, really liked the ending to this movie. I'd obviously don't want to say it and give it away. Jamie Lee Curtis hasn't got a massive part in it. She is in it, but she doesn't have a massive part. It's hard to describe the movie other than, you know, it's a truck driver who, pretty sure he knows who's committed these murders that are happening, and he's pretty sure he knows who it is, but because he starts to suss it out, he becomes the number one suspect, and it's about all this sort of suspicion and chasing around, and it actually really blew me away, this film, watching it. It was really good, and I was surprised I'd never seen it before, but yeah, really, really enjoyed it. And then I watched Scarecrows from 88 Films / A Classics Collection. I remember having this in VHS as a kid and being really scared of it. Watching it again as an adult, you realise that this movie's got massive plot holes in it, but the scarecrows himself, which is really funny because the ones which are actually just scarecrows, they're actually really still pretty scary, but the ones which are obviously men dressed up as scarecrows, they didn't scare me at all. It was just really silly. The plot to this movie's daft. I mean, it's about obviously a heist gone wrong, so there's this group of folk that have robbed a bank or whatever, but anyway, whatever they've done, they've got a lot of money and they've stolen a plane, and the two pilots have been kidnapped to fly the plane. It's a father and daughter, and they get stabbed in the back by one of their own men, who thinks that it's a great idea to throw himself and the money out of the plane. Obviously he's got a parachute in the middle of nowhere, hoping that he would somehow find a getaway vehicle to get away from them. There was just a lot that didn't add up to it. It was still fun to watch people getting killed by scarecrows, so that's always fun. I found it really strange and weird that I didn't remember the whole, you know, a lot of this movie's actually told through them talking on walkie-talkies, which I don't remember that at all from watching it when I was a child. But yeah, it was still worth a watch. It's definitely not as good as I remember it being. And then we watched Arrow Video Slugs. Again, I've actually seen this as a child. I remember being really scared of the slugs. Watching it as an adult, I realised the acting in this movie is atrocious, but the effects are amazing. So, love the slugs, especially the little scene where it bites up close up of his finger. That slug's just kind of cute. But yeah, the effects in it were really good. The storyline was okay. The acting was pretty wooden, but it was still worth a watch. I really did enjoy watching it again. Another Road Games. So this is one from Fright Fest Presents. It's not a remake, it's a completely different movie. This one is, it's a What a Twist movie, because it's basically about a guy who went to France with his girlfriend. Everything went wrong. He ended up getting dumped and is trying to walk back to the border to get to England, and on his travels he ends up intervening between an argument between a woman and a guy, and he ends up palling with her. They somehow end up after accepting a lift from this old guy at their house, because obviously they're tired, they want somewhere to sleep, they want something to eat, and then the story takes off from there. Definitely doesn't go the direction that you think it's going to go. Was really, really good. Great ending. Definitely you're never going to suss out the ending in this one at all, because I didn't, not until maybe about 5 minutes before they revealed it, I suddenly clicked. But Yeah, really, really good sort of twist of a movie. And then I watched The Girl Who Walks Home Alone at Night. No idea why this is an 18. There's not an awful lot of blood in it. Definitely a good film. It's very stylish. The music really suits this film. It's the only vampire film that I've ever seen with a vampire skateboarding, which I thought was really funny. It definitely benefits from being a black and white movie. I don't think it would have had the same impact should it have been in colour. But the majority of the movie is actually sort of told just through imagery rather than actually seeing violence. I mean, there are some violent scenes in it, but I've actually seen more violence in 12s than I have in this 18. I really did enjoy it, strangely enough. It felt like I was watching what David Lynch would do if he was making a vampire film, if you know what I mean there. But yeah, it was very atmospheric. Really did enjoy watching it. And as I said, I think I got a wee chuckle when I seen the vampire on a skateboard. I thought it was hilarious, the scene where she's obviously telling the wee boy that if he doesn't behave, she's going to get him. He runs off, leaves his skateboard, and straight away I went, oh my god, she's going to go on that skateboard. And I didn't expect it in this film, because it's a very serious movie to have a wee skateboarding vampire. But did enjoy it, really good. And then last but not least was 88's release of Frogs. I actually thought I'd seen this, and then when I put it on I thought, actually no, I've never seen this movie before. Not really sure why it's called Frogs, because it's actually all the animals of the swamp attacking people. So it's like the alligators, the snakes, the spiders, the turtles, everything in the swamp is attacking these people. The only reason why I could figure out that it's called Frogs is because the bullfrogs are really loud, so the people that live in this fancy house in the middle of nowhere decide to go out and poison the bullfrogs. My only guess is it's all the animals go, how dare you do that to the frogs, we're going to fight back. There's some really funny death scenes in it, like the guy that, and obviously spoiling here, but the guy that falls down in the forest and gets covered in plants falling from nowhere. So it was almost like, is the plants killing them too? Maybe that was supposed to happen. Maybe it is the plants killing them too, and I just didn't pick up on that. But there is some really funny death scenes in it. Very unrealistic, but come on, it's a creature feature with killer swamp animals. What else do you want? I did enjoy it. It was a bit of fun and laugh just to watch it. A bit ridiculous. Frogs don't really kill anyone unless they smother the guy at the end. That's the only thing I could think of. But it was actually worth a watch. It was entertaining. But yeah, that's my 9 movies for October so far. I am hoping to squeeze in another couple today. As I said, it is difficult when you're working. I'm just sort of squeezing in as much as I can. And I do have annual leave coming up at the end of October for Halloween itself, where I've got planned out days of what movies I'm going to watch, and starting off with some of the easier to watch ones like Hocus Pocus or Casper or Addams Family, kind of ones like that, and working up to the right horrible ones at night time. But hopefully you like the movies that I've watched so far for Halloween, and any questions, just ask away. You know I like chatting about horror films, or films in general. But otherwise, thank you as always for watching. It is appreciated, and please like and subscribe, and take care.